Your opponents are saying that by citing the Equal Protection Clause, you can only do so by fundamentally redefining marriage, and in doing so, actually creating a new right. And I want to ask you to respond to that.
Yeah, I would say that we're not asking for a new right. We are a new group asking for access to an existing right. So for example, if we look at Loving versus Virginia or Turner versus Safley, which my friend and colleague Evan Wolfson referred to, those are cases pertaining to interracial marriage and inmate marriage. However, when those plaintiffs sought the right to marry, they did not seek the specific right to interracial marriage. They did not seek the specific right to inmate marriage. They sought the right to marry.
John Eastman, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do. Look, because the test the Supreme Court has developed for addressing these equal protection questions is whether the groups are similarly situated. You have to be adopting a view of marriage in which the groups are similarly situated to make that claim. And you necessarily have to be rejecting the view of marriage in which the groups are quite obviously not similarly situated. And it's that change in the understanding of the purpose of the institution of marriage that requires us to treat this as a new claim rather than just access to the existing institution.
John, just for clarity, what do you mean when, if you could be more concrete about the sense of similarly situated?
Yeah, any two adult relationships are similarly situated is the purpose of the relationship is to foster the love and commitment between the relationships. And if that's what the purpose of marriage was, then I would say it violates equal protection not to extend same-sex marriage to, or not to extend marriage to same-sex couples, to polyamorous or polygamous couples, to adult, consenting adult in familial relationships of all sorts. If instead the purpose is this unique biological complementarity of men and women that bring men and women together for the purpose of producing the children that are the result of that union, then two men are not capable of having women. You say you're fertile, that's right, but not Kenji says at some point in his book, to say that only men can be fathers and only women can be mothers is to engage in sex stereotyping. No, it's not. It goes to the very essence of the difference between men and women on this core biological purpose.
Let me bring it to Evan Wolfson.
Well, very quickly to that, people marry for many reasons, and we do not have the government dictating to you why you marry the person you love and what your marriage needs to be about. For many people, it is about procreating. For many people, it isn't. For many people, it's about raising children, gay and non-gay parents, raising their kids. And for many people, it's not about raising kids at all. There are many reasons why people marry, and in this free society, that choice belongs to us, not to the government, and government is not to be used as a weapon to impose one ideological view on everyone else. But I want to go back to your question, John, where you talked about this question of a new right. You know, from 1776 until 1948, not a single court in the country was willing to strike down restrictions on people seeking to marry someone of quote-unquote the wrong sex. And finally, in 1948, the California Supreme Court, John Eastman State, I'm not sure how you felt about it, but John Eastman State said that, struck down race restrictions on marriage. And what the court said in that case was the essence of the freedom to marry is the right to marry the person who is precious to you. People are not interchangeable, the court said, like trains. It's not like if someone else one goes by and you're not allowed to marry that one, you'll just marry the next one. Gay people share the same interest in marrying the person who is precious to us without arbitrary restriction by the government, because that's what the freedom to marry is all about. And that's not a new right. That's the right that we as Americans have, and it's the right that gay people seek to share.